discuss about agile mindset, let us take a step backward and talk about your default mindset. What is your default mindset at any point in time? In your projects, in your personal life, in your social life, what is your mindset? Think about it. Your mindset is your way of reacting to the situations. It depends on your behavior and attitudes which you have developed over years and years of experience in your life. You have seen different types of situations and different scenarios, and you have come from a diverse background. And all those things which you have seen in your life has impacted and has resulted to inculcate a kind of mindset in you. So, what is that mindset? What is that attitude? What is that behavior which you will unconsciously, subconsciously, or consciously display in the project environment? We will discuss 4 different scenarios and ask you 4 different questions. Which decision would you take in these scenarios? The decision may be aligned to the agile mindset or may not be aligned to the mindset of agile. But in both the cases, you would get a good starting point to inculcate agile mindset, and it will give a good head start for you to start changing your mindset. So let us begin. Situation number 1. Consider that you are a business owner and your job is to maximize profit for your business. Your business relies on sample approval from the customer. When you go for a sales proposition, the customer gives you a sample and which you need to create a replica of that sample and submit to the customer for approval within 3 working days. There is a problem though. The problem is that the sample which you are going to get cannot be predicted. There is high level of variability in the requirements or the types of samples which you will get. At the same time, when you get the sample, your team does not know how the sample would be prepared. So they will improvise, they will brainstorm, they will do hit and trials for multiple different on different kind of machines, and they will produce something which is matching to the sample. Sometimes they fail, sometimes they succeed, and depending upon this entire hit and trial and success and failures, you get some orders and some orders you lose. And this is how the business runs, and you have been doing this for about 3 decades now. So, in such a situation, in such a business, how are you going to maximize the profit? Would you be investing on your people? Would you be investing to upskill the manpower? Or would you be investing to completely change the scenario and invest in automation and bring in the high-tech solution to make these samples? Think about it. Scenario number 2. You are leading a marketing agency. And this marketing agency is aspiring to become big, right? If you are aspiring to become big, you need to crack some tough nuts. And here is your opportunity to crack a tough nut. A big FMCG company is launching a new product in a new segment. Their research shows that this product is going to be super hit in the target segment, in the target market. But there is a problem. The problem is that in the target segment, the customers does not know, or they don't have the apparent need for the product. They are not looking for the product because they don't know such a product can exist in the market. So your job is to make a marketing campaign which will actually make the customers aware of this product. If the customer know about this product, they will definitely buy it. So how would you go about it? The success of this marketing campaign would make you a superstar or an emerging star in the entire landscape of marketing agencies. The failure can be a big nail on your growth. So, what would you do? Would you focus more on collaborating with the customer, understanding the requirement, reiterating the shared vision with you, trying out different approaches and different ways of deriving or developing the marketing campaign and executing the campaign, including different kind of ideas across your own teams, or you would be focusing more on negotiating the nitty gritty of the contract with the customer, with your prospective client? Think about it. It's a matter of future, it's a matter of business continuity and business growth. Scenario number 3, you are a product sponsor. You are a senior business leader who has envisioned a product which would be a great cost optimizer for your team. And when you have got the approval from the board, you are leading it personally. You are the product sponsor and you are involved in this project. You hired the entire team and your team is working on the project in using an agile approach. You have been consistently monitoring their progress and you are fairly satisfied with the progress as well. Now the first release is due in 2 weeks and you are very anxious to see this product taking shape. What would you be looking at in the first release, which is due in 2 weeks? Would you be focusing or eagerly waiting for the product to, to get demonstrated, or you would be going and asking about the user guide and the documentation and the SOPs which the team should follow to execute the project? Think about it. Scenario number 4, you are a project manager. You executed a project and your customer is really happy with you. You have fulfilled most of the customer's pain point and the customer has given you a sign off on most of those as well. Now at the 11th hour, the customer comes to you with a surprise that, hey, due to the customer's mistake, one of the requirement was wrongly mentioned or wrongly executed. Now they are ready to bear all the cost and they want you to revise the product and that feature. This revision would require you another sprint, which will extend your project by one more iteration. It means that your subsequent project, which is equally important for you, would get delayed by at least 2 weeks. What would you do in such a situation? Would you be agreeing to the customer's requirement and customer's request, or you would say simply, no, I cannot do it because my next customer is waiting on the queue? What would be your response? Would you be focusing on the business continuity with the existing client, or you would be focusing or on hopping one client to the other and taking up the new project? Think about it. What is a common pattern are you seeing in all these things? The common pattern is about the requirement. The requirement in all these scenarios are not certain. The requirements are not precise. There are different degrees of variability in the requirements, right? At the same time, the processes to fulfill those requirements are also not precise, also not certain. In such a situation, the project management becomes tricky because the thing that you are executing as a as a developer of the of the team may or may not be the requirement of the customer. So this gap can completely derail the product. So we have two different worlds altogether. Of if you see the world of projects, there can be different kinds of project. The one project which we have seen is completely different from the other traditional projects which we have been doing and witnessing all around our world. The projects of industrial works and the project of knowledge work. In the industrial work project, the processes are fixed and there is a focus on control and structured systems. But in knowledge work project, like the project which we discussed in the last four scenarios, the focus is on improvisation because there is a need for continuous adaptation throughout the project. In terms of people, people are considered a cost in industrial work project, whereas it is all up to the people to create value for the customer in knowledge work. The nature of work is defined in the industrial work, whereas it is completely vague and undefined and uncertain in the knowledge work. And in the industrial work, the focus is on quantity because the quality is given, because the requirements are certain and the processes are standard, so the quality cannot get compromised. Whereas in the knowledge work, quality gets compromised often. So these are the two different worlds of projects which require two different approaches altogether. So when we start with a traditional project management approach in the industrial works, that approach may or may not apply to the knowledge work project, and most often it does not apply to the knowledge work project. This brings us to the discussion on when to use agile project management and when not to use it. So when our requirements and the processes are uncertain, there are very varying degree of uncertainty would command us to use different kind of approaches. If the uncertainty is low, then we can use the predictive or the traditional approach of project management. When it increases on either side, then our approach needs to change. If the process uncertainty is low and the requirement uncertainty is high, we need to move towards the incremental approach of project management. Similarly, if the process uncertainty is high and the requirement uncertainty is low, we need to go to the iterative style of project management. And there comes the agile approach of project management, when there is a fair degree of uncertainty on both requirements and processes. So this is the place where we need to use agile approach. So agile is suited for the knowledge work projects, and all kind of professions, all kind of industry may use agile in different ways and forms to effectively manage their projects. So with this, we will move to the discussion on agile mindset, values and principle. Thank you.